What's up, Taiwan? I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Workers in Taiwan can expect bigger paychecks soon after Taiwan's labor ministry announced it'll hike the country's minimum wage. The increase of nearly 4.1% will raise the minimum monthly wage to about $890 and the hourly wage to almost $6. Taiwan has been plagued with stagnant wage growth for years, and salaries lag behind other developed Asian economies. Former President Tsai Ing-wen raised the minimum wage every year during her 8-year tenure, but failed to meet her promise of bringing minimum monthly salaries to about $930. Vietnam is one of several countries racing to achieve a new industrial revolution driven by tech. The pressure is on for firms to spend big on new technologies like AI to stay competitive. But many companies still have a long way to go. Taiwanese exec Kenneth Chen leads an alliance of business owners, academics, and other tech advocates to help Vietnam's factories go digital. Our reporter Joyce Tseng caught up with him in Ho Chi Minh City.
Nowadays we hear about Industry 4.0, smart factories, but with your experience, where do you think we are at in this transformation?
Only big companies have the resource to play with the very expensive big toy, but most of the majority, they cannot catch up. They don't even have the foundation to do it. In Asia, like Taiwan or Vietnam, they used to rely on people to exchange information. That won't be fast enough to solve the problem. We need a digitization tool, a computer, to connect all the data together. If you don't have a good tool and management, then it will take many days. If you're still on that stage, then it's impossible for you to use AI. When we talk about Industry 4.0, digital transformation, all these smart factory, smart manufacturing, no single company can solve all the problems. So we need to put all the resources together to collaborate.
And how different has it been implementing your concept in Vietnam versus in Taiwan?
It's very interesting because Taiwan, a lot of people, they have their successful experience. So for experienced people, for experienced operation, it's more difficult to make change. And in Vietnam, luckily, they don't have such a burden. And because of the new opportunities in here, many Taiwan's business, their factories in Vietnam is even much bigger than the one in Taiwan. Reality is, the business have to survive in business, have some profit, so they can reinvest. AI, just like other technology, are just the tools for them to see, okay, is it a good time for me to adapt this solution to solve my problem, to improve my productivity, improve my profit? So just use the same mindset, then you will be okay.
That was Kenneth Chen, the founder of A1 Smart Factory Alliance. Be sure to check out our series on Vietnam's digital transformation on TaiwanPlus.com. Sustainability might not be the first word that comes to mind when you think about theater and performance. Given the often temporary nature of many productions, they can generate substantial amounts of waste and consume a lot of energy. Reese Ayers meets the people working towards a greener approach to performance art.
A post-apocalyptic future, piled with trash and polluted by plastic. It's a bleak image brought to life on stage by Performosa Theatre in their production Future World Hypothesis at the famous Cloudgate Theatre in New Taipei.
We always try to imagine after 300 years later what kind of landscape of we will live. So I think everyone can imagine that a lot of junk or a lot of something that couldn't digest by the sea.
More than an atmospheric story about humanity's fight for survival, the play reminds audiences of the impact people are having on the planet. The sustainability theme runs deep through the production, even to how it was put together.
Probably 95% of the materials that I use are sourced, collected plastic bottles, PET bottles, which have been transformed into these marine-looking creatures. We basically try to avoid buying new materials.
Some smaller grassroots efforts are also putting sustainability at the core of their practices. Theatre Naturally Connected, a production company based in Hsinchu in northern Taiwan, try to be waste conscious in everything they do, sometimes by leaning into styles of theatre that were born from a lack of resources.
In Poland, we have a famous director, Grotowski, and he was a founder of the poor theater method. The actor that can create everything from his imagination and this inner landscape that it's created in his mind, and the rhythm of the body can make a music, and so it's really the less the better.
The move towards sustainable theatre practices has gained traction in recent years, becoming an international collaborative mission, with Taiwan playing a key role. A symposium on diversity and sustainability in the arts is being held here at the Kaohsiung National Center for the Arts, the biggest such venue in the world, and a building designed with sustainability in mind. It's a joint effort by Taiwan's Culture Ministry and the International Organization of Scenographers, Theatre Architects and Technicians, or OASTAT, an NGO building a global network for people in theatre production, as they agree to stay headquartered in Taiwan for another 5 years.
We are hoping to bring awareness from all the international community that this is the moment, this is the year we need to really look into the possibility of bringing sustainability thinking into theatre design.
At the event, conversations about how many small changes to industry practices come together to make a big difference in the environmental impact of a production.
You can't do everything all at once. Choose the easiest, most simple sort of action for you, whether that is changing out your electrical equipment for more sustainable electrical equipment, whether that is considering the paint that you use for your set design.
Every aspect of a piece of theatre or a concert can be examined and tweaked to reduce its energy costs, including using recycled materials to build sets, more energy-efficient stage lights, or finding new ways to repurpose existing props and costumes.
You could maybe take parts of a garment and modify and make a new costume. Or you could upcycle, which means taking, for example, 2 garments and changing them in such a way that you would make a third one, a new one.
Though they admit taking a more sustainable approach to performance design can introduce new challenges.
There is a worry that when you start adopting sustainable practices, that might reduce your creativity.
But as creatives, many in the industry are up for the challenge.
I think theatre companies and theatre makers are often thinking about sort of the cutting edge or what's coming next, whether that is within their community, whether that's in the arts or technology. So they tend to be kind of on the forefront of these sort of global issues, and sustainability is one of those as well.
Theatre has long been a medium that tackles the most pressing issues in society. Now, as the world grapples with an increasingly polluted planet, the theatre industry is reconsidering the role it could play in reducing its impact on the environment. Justin Wu, Alex Chen and Reese Ayres for TaiwanPlus.
And we'd like to thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these cosplayers competing at the GeekCon Festival in Russia. I'm Leslie Liao, take care and see you next time.
For more stories from here in Honolulu, Hawaii, and around the world, make sure to visit us on social media.